and welcome to Everyday Living with Penny. My name is Penny Malone. I'm your host, and today on the show I'm going to be making Grandma's casserole. This casserole is one that my mom made all the time when we were growing up, and I wanted to pass it on to you. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start with the casserole. And what I have here is about 1.5 pounds of meat, and I have an 8-ounce box of macaroni noodles that I have already cooked till they're, you don't want them completely done because we're going to be baking this dish. So then I've got a green pepper, red pepper, onion, have salt and pepper. I've got a quart of canned tomatoes, and I have some seasoning salt and about a tablespoon of sugar. So, and some butter, a stick of butter. So what we're going to do, I'm using a large pot because we are going to be cooking the meat and all of the vegetables at the same time, and I just want to make sure I had enough room, not spilling anything. So go ahead and put our hamburger meat in there. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and chop up our vegetables. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to dice my green peppers. Just throw them in the pot. I don't know if you all know this or not, but when you're picking out bell peppers, if you look at the bottom of the pepper, for instance this one, let me put it back together. If you're looking at the bottom, if you get the pepper that has the 4 bumps on the bottom, that means it's a female and it's sweeter. If you get one that just has the 3, it's considered male and it's not as sweet. Little tidbit for you. Go back. Okay. Let's get the red pepper. I think out of peppers, the red and yellow peppers are my favorite. I think they have the best taste. And they're bright and colorful, so, and they don't usually lose their colors when you're baking with them. But like I said, my mom made this when we were growing up. I'm not for sure which grandmother made this casserole, but I probably need to find that out and let you know. But I'm thinking it was my grandmother on my father's side. Okay. Okay, now to our onion. You can use a whole one or a half. I like a lot of cooked onion in my casseroles, so. I don't know about you all, but when I am cutting up onions like this, it makes me cry uncontrollably because I don't wear contacts anymore. When I did have contacts, I could cut onions all day and it would not bother me. But one way I have found that keeps me from crying so much is I would run the onions under water after I had peeled them. That helps a lot. And also, if you light a matchstick and then, you know, blow out the flame and hold it in your teeth while you're cutting, that also helps keep from crying. Today I'm doing okay. I'm not crying yet. And I think I spoke too soon. This is just a sweet Vidalia onion. Okay. Like I said, this is a lot of vegetables. So we've got our seasoning salt. Okay, we'll sprinkle a little bit of that in. Probably about a teaspoon worth. And some pepper. Okay. And we are going to head over to the stove. Gosh, it smells so good. You just want to brown your ground beef. We had about 1.5 pounds of beef. Just kind of cook your vegetables. I usually watch my onions, and once they get clear or semi-clear, of course you don't want to overdo your beef either. How pretty colors are together. This recipe was, I think, my grandmother, Mama Gillenwater's, and I would think that it was her mother's recipe. And at that time, back in the Depression era, you had to think of ways to make your cooking go long way. My grandmother had, I don't know, 6 or 7 sisters and brothers, so there were a lot of mouths to feed and not a lot of money to go around. So this filled up on vegetables with a little ground beef to go with it. Now, my grandmother had 12 kids, so she and my grandfather were in the same predicament. A lot of mouths, and I think only my grandfather worked, so every penny counted. Okay, I think we're good here. See how our peppers are starting to, and our onions are starting to get a little clear, and our hamburger meat. And you could do it even further if you wanted your onions to be all the way clear. You could do that. But once we bake it, they'll take care of cooking it the rest of the way. All right, so we're going to head back to our station. So now we've got our meat mixture right here, and then I've got a quart of canned tomatoes. I'm just going to pour in here. And to offset the tomato, the citrusy, we're going to put probably about, I want to say, 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. And we're going to stir this up. have that. Now here are our noodles that I've already cooked. Okay, so I'm going to spray our pan, just a little. Okay, now I'm going to pour this in, and it's kind of like a goulash, casserole style. Pot is really heavy. Try to get all this out. Okay. And just spread it out. I have some mozzarella cheese here, shredded from the block. Just take it and spread it out on top. You don't have to have a lot. This is about half of a block of cheese that I've shredded. And we have preheated our oven to 400 degrees. And we're going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes until everything sets and your cheese is nice and bubbly.
Egan Construction in Gate City is a fully licensed electrical, industrial, commercial, and residential contractor whose services include maintenance on home or corporate offices, custom designed kitchen renovations, demolitions, insurance restorations due to water dryouts, wind damage, or fire, licensed interior designing and architectural drawings, full excavations. They're licensed in Virginia and Tennessee. That's Egan Construction, 345 Water Street in Gate City.
Welcome back. On this section of the show, we're going to do roasted broccoli, and I have a roasted carrots as well. First, we're going to do the broccoli. And this recipe was given to me by one of my co-workers, Brittany Parks. This is so good. I mean, it's so simple and it's so good and good for you, except for the butter. But that's okay. So this is a bag of frozen broccoli, and I melted a stick of butter. You do not have to use the whole stick of butter. but for this big bag, you probably will. And what we do is just spoon out pieces of the butter on top of the broccoli. I could probably make a meal on this alone. It is so good. She made it for us at work one day. We were fighting over it. So good. Beat it all. It was her lunch, but we were fighting over it. So sorry, Brittany. Let's see. Okay, just about got it. Okay, there we go. And for the seasonings, I have a garlic and herb grilling mix. We're just gonna sprinkle over it. It's got red pepper flakes and I think a little bit of garlic. So we're gonna put a little bit of salt, not a lot. Don't need too much. The butter that I used was salted. So next we're gonna use pepper. Okay, kind of sound like jingle bells. And a little bit of garlic. And we're good. So now this goes in the oven. I've got it on 400 because the carrots are going to be sharing this oven. But you want to bake it on 400 for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until your broccoli's good and done. So if you'll give me just a minute, I will be back and we'll get our carrots ready to go. Welcome back, and we are going to roast some carrots on this section of the show. I've got some fresh carrots, just a bunch. You can do 1 or 2 bunches, however you want to do it. What we're going to do is cut them. We're going to cut them in what they call copper pennies, if you can get them that thin. If you use a mandolin, which I do not have with me today, you can get the ones that have the grooves in the ridges. But today we're just chopping them like this. Get close enough to end here that I'm gonna do a couple at a time now before I cut my finger off. Okay. This is a really good, healthy snack or side dish, however you want to serve it. Now I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and you're going to bake these for probably about 15 to 20 minutes until they're good and soft. Okay, so we're going to spray our pan right quick. Spread these out. Try not to double them up. Now, still have a little bit of butter left here. We're just gonna place it. Sorry, it's getting soft. Oh my goodness. Then just a little bit of salt. Got some pepper. And a little seasoning salt. Okay. And we're gonna slide this in the oven, like I said, for probably about 20 minutes or so. Our broccoli's come around good. And I believe our grandma's casserole is ready to come out. Oh, here we go. So all we're going to do is wait on our vegetables and we'll be right back.
Egan Construction in Gate City is a fully licensed electrical, industrial, commercial, and residential contractor whose services include maintenance on home or corporate offices, custom designed kitchen renovations, demolitions, insurance restorations due to water dryouts, wind damage, or fire, licensed interior designing and architectural drawings, full excavations. They're licensed in Virginia and Tennessee. That's Egan Construction, 345 Water Street in Gate City.
Welcome back, and we've got our broccoli and carrots out of the oven. We're going to go ahead and plate these. Like I said, you can use more than one bunch to have more, but if you're just feeding 1 or 2 people, then this would be plenty. Okay, and I'm just going to use the same spatula. Okay. And our casserole. That's what I like about it. It about falls apart. Well, it does fall apart. With all these vegetables and noodles and meat and cheese, it's a great dish. So there we are. We have our grandma's casserole, we have roasted broccoli and roasted carrots. I hope you've enjoyed being here with me today. I've enjoyed having you. And if you need these recipes, you can find them on Facebook or YouTube. Just search for Everyday Living with Penny. I hope you have a great day and hope to see you again next time.